My name is Ryutaro Ichihara, and you can call me Rio, and I'm from Japan. I just graduated from Cal State Fullerton with Master of Science in Kinesiology.
Why did you choose to attend Cal State Fullerton?
So it's a long story, it goes back from when I chose Cal State Fullerton as an undergrad 7 years ago. So I was a high school dropout. In Japan, I went to a high school with a really good soccer program, but I couldn't fit there. I couldn't fit their culture. So I became kind of mentally ill in the first couple of semesters, and I decided to drop out. And usually in Japan, the traditional path is you go to high school and college and you get into the big company, and etc. etc. Once you have a high school dropout, there is no future in Japan. So I realized, okay, maybe I should start finding a path in the world, and I wanted to become a professional soccer player. So I looked for Division I schools, UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, and UC Irvine, and I applied for all of them, but none of them accepted me. And I went to Cal State Fullerton and Northridge, and Cal State Fullerton answered me first. So I decided to come in, and turned out to be the best school for me because they have one of the best soccer programs in the US, and also they have the biggest stadium in Southern California and in California in general. I played soccer at Cal State Fullerton hoping to become a professional soccer player, but I got cut from a men's soccer team and I went to Fullerton College. At that time, I had to do dual enrollment at Cal State Fullerton, 9 units to keep my status here and 18 units to be eligible to play soccer at Fullerton College. At the end of my soccer career, I won All-American Scholar Athlete Award, and I thought, okay, my soccer career is gonna be bright. But then I kind of burned out. I did everything, I committed myself a lot to the soccer, and before I come to the US, soccer was my life. And I came to beautiful Southern California, I realized there's so much more in life. And I realized, okay, it's time to say goodbye to soccer. I pursued my career in academia. First, when I came to Cal State Fullerton, I didn't know what major is. I didn't even know that I have to choose a major when I start my college career. So at that time, I decided to do a musical theater major. And I was like, maybe this is not for me. And I decided to switch to kinesiology because first I wanted to improve my soccer skills. So I wanted to be better at understanding how body works and how to improve my skills and performance in soccer. And there I met my mentors, Dr. Gleaves and Dr. Matt Llewellyn, and they inspired me to be a college professor. I started taking the classes in the philosophy department, and I really liked the philosophy classes, especially existentialism and phenomenology. And I was talking to Dr. Matt, what can I do with the kinesiology and philosophy? And Dr. Matt introduced me to Dr. Gleaves, and he told me what we can do with the sports philosophy. And that's how I get into what is the meaning of life. I dedicated my life into soccer. I spent so much time, and a lot of people end up being unhappy with their sports because it's really high demanding and you have to dedicate a lot of time and effort into the sports, especially youth athletes. So I realized I want to figure out what's the meaning of sports, and that's what we deal with the sports philosophy. In my first half of the career, I was doing the research about the burnout and the meaning of the sports. And then I kind of transitioned to the phenomenology, and I have a brother with cerebral palsy. And I always wanted to understand how people with disability, especially people with cerebral palsy, perceive the world differently, perceive the body and the movement differently compared to our experience. So using phenomenology in the field of kinesiology, that's what I wanted to do.
I once learned there was a Japanese term called Ikigai, where it means the purpose.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? It's
Yes, that chart.
That just reminded me of Ikigai, so it looks like you found that balance.
Exactly, yeah. And Ikigai was what I was looking for as well. I was so driven towards soccer career, and then I thought that was my Ikigai, but at that time it became so high demanding, and I realized I'm so tired of this. Ikigai, it's something that you want to do and something that the world wants you to do, and what you're good at, and how much you can dedicate, or what kind of value you can provide. The mixture of all those things, and I realized soccer might not be there's no demand to the world for me to play soccer, but rather in the field of research, maybe I can probably provide something more meaningful to the world.
What has been your favorite part of your time at Cal State Fullerton?
So I've spent 7 years on campus, so I have so much to share, but the biggest ones are strong support from the campus community, lots of opportunity for students, and diversity of the campus. First of all, the strong support. I have received a lot of help from departments, my professors, and international office. So coming into master's program, Dr. Gleaves got me a TA position so that I can financially support myself. And besides the TA position, I also received a non-resident tuition waiver. I was able to waive those additional tuition so that I can financially support myself by getting the stipends by working as a teaching assistant. TA position not only helped me to financially support myself, but also develop as an educator. So I got to build my own course from the scratch, and I got to teach undergraduate students from a diverse population. Also, I got a lot of other opportunities on campus, especially in the kinesiology department. So I served as exercise lead or wellness director at employee wellness program at Cal State Fullerton. So I got to interact with a lot of college professors from many different departments, and I got to exercise with them, and I got to teach them how to exercise, how to sustain an active lifestyle. I was also a member of Greece study abroad program in the kinesiology department, so I got to go to Greece, the birthplace of philosophy and kinesiology. I got to visit all the ancient Olympic sites and experience what sport meant to those ancient Greek people, and also how it's reflected during our modern time. So everything is coming back to the place that I've got a lot of help from the faculty members and the staff members. During the final phase, my last semester as a master's student is really hard, and usually it's very rare to finish the master's thesis in 2 years, but Dr. Gleaves and I had a weekly meeting to make sure that I can finish on time, and also kept me motivated. If I was alone, I couldn't do it by myself. But Dr. Gleaves told me, hey, you're doing awesome and your thesis is gonna be amazing. Your thesis could be a unicorn in this field. And I couldn't believe it, but it turned out to be, I have received so many awards this semester. I've been recognized as Alumni Association's Outstanding Graduate Student Award, Giles T. Brown Thesis Excellence Award, first place in Titan Grad Slam, which is a 3 minutes thesis presentation, and finalist status at CSU Grad Slam. So I was recognized as one of the top 14 students in California State University. I couldn't believe myself at that time, but Dr. Gleaves kept pushing me, and other faculty members also told me your thesis is excellent, it's very interesting. So I was able to keep pushing myself and receive all those honors. And the other thing that I really liked about was the diversity of the campus. So I got to work with a lot of different kinds of students, people, international students, made me feel like, oh, this is where I used to be, who I used to be. So I want to help those people. But at the same time, there is a lot of different populations like white students, Asian students, African American students, Hispanic students, or people with disability, or people with specific interest in a different field, the kinesiology. So I've got to work with so many diverse students and diverse faculty members, and that's the thing that I really like about Cal State Fullerton. I've received a lot of awards and the recognition, but the most important thing is the connection and the friendship that I have built.
Now that you've earned your master's degree, what are your plans moving forward?
So currently I have 4 things lined up for me. First thing is to come back as a part-time lecturer in kinesiology department. So I'll be teaching Kines 380 sports philosophy class and possibly 381 sports history. So those are the classes Dr. Matt and Dr. Gleaves taught, and those are the classes that they inspired me to become a college professor. So I'm really excited to influence students in a way that they influenced me. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. At the same time, I also have an opportunity at Fullerton College men's soccer team, and the coach want me to come back as a life coach to implement the philosophy part of the soccer team. And the third thing is there is a personal training gym called Train with Dave. I'm gonna go work with them and to learn about the business side of the personal training and how to assist people to attain their ideal body and the confidence in their own body. So I would learn a lot from them how to create my own agency or how to create my own gym to help people better, help people achieve their fitness goals. And the fourth thing is, during my undergrad, especially during the COVID pandemic, I started helping Japanese students to learn English and attain fluency in English. My English level wasn't where I am at all. I was like so bad at English when I started my career at Cal State Fullerton, but I have developed how to learn English quickly. So I presented this idea at TEDx talk, and using this idea, we created the company called Ikotoba. And we help Japanese people learn English by using AI and stuff like that. So those are the business that we are building, and that's what I'm really excited about as well. But during this time, I will also look for a PhD program so that I can extend my research and I can come back as a full-time, full professor like Dr. Matt and Dr. Gleaves and teach students as a college professor.
What advice would you give to other international students who are attending Cal State Fullerton?
I would say look for opportunities and always say yes to opportunities. To be honest, life is really tough as an international student in the United States. But if you seek for help and if you look for the opportunity, the door is going to open for you. All those opportunities that I received, I always ask them, hey, I'm in this situation, what can I do? As an international student, we have a lot of limitations, but we can work it out, how we can manage financially, psychologically, physically, we can manage it. So always say yes to the opportunity. You're never going to regret what you have done, but you always regret what you could have done. Seize the opportunity and the door is going to be open for you.